and everything that will be revealed and given to us down the road is all just stemming from the basic desire to receive. And there's nothing in the world that's created other than the desire to receive that's created ex nihilo yesh mi'ayin. Ki eina mechudash klal, because there's really nothing new at all. Why? Because it's all v'hu nimshach min tzchiyaso yisbarach, because yesh me'yesh, because it's all flowing from the essence of the Creator, and that always existed. So everything that we see in existence today, that we have in our worlds that we create, our individual worlds that we create based on our desire to receive, is all a creation yesh me'yesh, all already existed because it came from the Creator originally, that was always contained in Him. But on the other hand, on the other hand, you know, this is what he's going to get into. We're not going to have enough time to continue. But on the other hand, if it's all about just ratzon, receiving for yourself, you start to estrange yourself from the Creator. And that creates a distance, and therefore ultimately the goal is to change your desire to receive in order to give, and then you don't create a separation between you and the Creator. So how much time do we have?
Stop soon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I got to clean up.
So 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
So I mean, but this is the part. You know, if we can do this on a regular basis, we can actually read in the text where he talks about, you know, all of the wisdom of Kabbalah in an original text that explains the Ari with this approach, and this book here is the Gift of the Torah, and there are different articles, and one is about, of course, the purpose of the Torah. And it's a very progressive book, and it's very similar to some of the things that I said. But just to talk, there's one article here about freedom, and you know he says that the only real way to create freedom is to express freedom is by changing your environment. That we don't really have any other freedom other than changing the environment that we're in. And if see, that's what he says here. That he quotes from Pirkei Avos, Rabbi Yossi ben Kasma, that he decided to. If he says, "Im ata nosen li kol kesef v'zahav v'avonim tovos u'megaliyos shebolam," if you give me all the wealth of the world, "Eini dor el b'makom Torah," I will not live except in a place of Torah. And the reason being, as the Rashlag explains here, is because that is the only by putting ourselves in the right environment. That's the best way that we can nourish the potential that's embedded within us, so that, as we were saying before, so we can express our unique talents that could be deeply embedded within us in the most expressive way. And it all depends on being in the right environment, because when you're in the right environment, what you're really doing is you're creating a greater vessel. And by creating a greater vessel, and by the way, a greater environment is not just in changing your physical location, it's also in what you're reading, it's also in who your friends are, in what ideas you're being exposed to. and so that all changes your environment. And by changing your environment, then you're changing your vessel, you're improving your vessel, so that the nourishment and the light that can then develop your unique attributes will come into your life, and you can develop yourself in the best way so that you reach your potential. And he gives an example of, let's say, a seed of barley, right? You put the barley in an environment that is not nourishing, in a soil that's lacking minerals, it doesn't have enough water, it doesn't have enough sunlight, you're going to get a very deficient barley. But if you plant the barley in an environment, in an enriched environment, you change its environment, then it's enabled to express itself in the best way and become the barley that it's supposed to become. It's the same thing with a human being. Our freedom lies in our ability to change and to improve our environment. And by doing so, then we can then reach our true potential in the best way. So that's an article here that I wanted to speak about, but we're short of time. So that's it in a nutshell.